Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we are headed short track racing here at the Federated Auto Parts 400 from Richmond Raceway under the lights. We are the second to last driver coming into the regular season standings and going for the playoffs, I should say here now. Martin Truex Jr., the first out by 25 points here now as we were headed into this Richmond weekend. Of course, a lot of drama lately in the kind of inner team situation with Colleague Racing, but hopefully we can kind of clean things up, make the playoffs, and kind of put everything to rest and focus in on next season. And should be an announcement coming in the next episode from Colleague Racing about some contracts and who's going to be in the 31 car, the 13, etc. But nonetheless, out here in practice, getting on a track. And Richmond, not a huge fan of Richmond Raceway. I like short track racing, but this is a track that I've never really personally enjoyed very much. But yeah, I mean, overall, the car felt actually pretty good. As you can see me closing in on the back of the 41 of Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece, we expect to be good here when it comes to Richmond, of course. One of the best short track ringers in the Cup Series roster now, as I was actually trying to go around the outside of the 41 in 1 and 2 and actually going to catch outside wall on the exit of the corner, so I'll bail on the lap and basically call it a practice here in Richmond. Overall, pretty happy with the pace in the car because we beat our goal, so that was pretty good here. Now on the second lap was the only lap that we did do that, but now we're going to jump through Saturday morning qualifying here from Richmond. Usually we're probably looking at a 20th to 25th place kind of position here if we run a average lap around this circuit. So a little bit wide on the apex here in 1 and 2. Try to, of course, get the best exit possible down this back straightaway towards turn 3 and hopefully make up a little bit of time here. And into 3, get down on the apex pretty well. I just want to get to that yellow line and we're going to exit 4 hard on the gas to the line. The goal with the 21.206, we're a little bit shy of that goal, but P22 is where we are going to start. So overall, pretty happy with that qualifying effort here. As you can see, our teammates of Haley and Smith 30th and 31st. Riley Herbst at the back of the pack as well. You see Bell down in 20th. An odd qualifying effort there from him after dominance in the summer months, but on pole, it's Logano, Chastain, Kurt Busch, Truex, and Larson, the top 5 here. As well, Xfinity Series joined us this weekend here. No Truck Series though, but it was actually Allgaier picking up the win at Pocono. They still have quite a few races till their playoffs start as we are coming up on the final few regular season races ourselves here in the Cup Series. But yeah, let's get ready to race on Sunday night.
Sunday night racing in Richmond Raceway. Just 4 races remain in our regular season as the bubble battle is set to tighten.
We've got rookies going up against veterans for the final few spots too. Rick, Gibbs, and Owen are both looking strong.
Yeah, but they don't have the experience of fighting for the final spots while these veterans do.
Jeff is right. You got Truex, Keselowski, Buescher, just to name a few. This is going to be intense in these final races.
Alright team, things are hopefully put behind us after, everything that's happened here the last few weeks, and let's just focus on tonight and moving forward.
I agree. Let's have a good night here.
A few stories headed into tonight's race in Richmond. Justin Haley will start from the back after a pre-race inspection failure, and Kurt Busch's team opted to take new tires, so the 67 car will also start from the rear.
You hear some stories of the race there. So Haley and Kurt Busch at the back. Kurt Busch's final trip to Richmond Raceway here. As the sun is setting here, we'll be starting on the inside line, right behind that DeWalt Toyota Camry, driven by Christopher Bell. An off day in qualifying, will he turn it around in the race? Let's find out. We're racing here in Richmond. Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, the front row as we head down towards this first corner. Up a few rows ahead, you see Daniel Suarez in the 99. Ryan Preece up there in the 41 as well. Preece is, of course, has a win under his belt at Talladega Superspeedway. They're already 4 wide. They were trying to do that in front of us there as we went down this backstretch, but Preece with the win in Talladega is right now fighting to remain in the top 30 in the point standings. That is the key for his, of course, ticket into the playoffs. If he can stay in the top 30, he will be in the playoffs. Obviously, in real life, you don't have to be in the top 30 anymore. You just have to be full-time to make the playoffs with a win. However, when NASCAR Heat 5 came out, you had to still be in the top 30 in the standings. So, obviously, a little bit of a rule change that we can't really replicate in NASCAR Heat 5, unfortunately. As you can see, though, a decent start, up to 19th alongside the number 12 of Ryan Blaney. Of course, a win on the season for Blaney as we come through one. We're going to clear him. We will get up the inside of Daniel Suarez a few moments later. We're going to pass him pretty easily. Tyler Reddick, someone that's trying to claw his way forward here after a bit of a rough few weeks here. Now is kind of fallen a little bit further backwards in the playoff situation, and we got past him pretty easy. And going to go to the outside of Christopher Bell, who's climbed up to P15, so we know there's a bit of speed in this 20 after that rough qualifying effort. But here's not what I expected. I'm going to go up the inside of this Joe Gibbs Racing driver who's been the dominant driver of the season. We'll clear him, and I'm going to bring Austin Dillon with me. He's going to pass at 20 as well. So that 20 definitely looks to be having a bit of an off night for the first time in quite some time as I get up on this Stewart-Haas Racing duo of Preece and Briscoe. And here's a move up the inside of Preece on lap 11 of only 16 in stage 1, a very short stage. Stage 2, stage 3, significantly longer than stage number 1. Lap 14, 3 to go on the stage. Martin Truex Jr. currently out in front now as I'm up the inside of Bubba Wallace. I'm pretty happy with the pace in this car up to P13. Look at my rear view mirror, however. That's not Reddick's Monster Energy machine, that's Kurt Busch. He has had a heck of a start after starting in the back of the field. He's climbed himself into the top 15 in these closing moments. Truex would win stage number 1. We would exit turn 4 for P13 just in front of that 67 of Kurt Busch, so we know that 67 has a lot of pace. He is going to have a very difficult time pointing his way into the playoffs at this point, so he needs to be looking at a win. Right now, not a single 2311 racing car in the playoffs here. Not even Tyler Reddick, as he had such a slow start to the season. Obviously got better, but it's had a couple of rough weeks here that's kind of set him back again. So big adjustments here on the wedge as we're going up quite high. I'm running a completely different setup than I had in the spring race because we were so bad in the spring race. So I've actually gone to the third, I think it's preset 3, which is pretty tight. We might suffer a bit on the short runs because of the tightness in the car, but hopefully can benefit on the long run and not slide around as much here now. So a quick stage 1 of Martin Truex Jr. Out in front is complete. Stage 2 now underway, and we have 37 laps, so 21 extra laps here in stage number 2. Truex, of course, in that bubble area after another driver that had such a slow start to the season, but here he is winning stage number 1, putting himself in position to, if not win his way in, go for that points battle as well. And Ryan Preece is going to play a big role in our season as well, and if we're going to comfortably be in the playoffs or not, if we're going to be clawing our way in come the Daytona regular season finale here. So we're not going to be too easy on that 41 car because we understand the situation. But up into P11 at the end of lap 2 on the inside here of Harvick. We'll clear him, move into stage points, but that would not last very long here. A few moments later, lap 4 into turn 1, Blaney had gotten past Harvick and gotten to my inside as well. He's going to clear me. I go a little bit wide there. That allows Harvick to actually get back to my inside too. Down into 3, he'll pass me as well. So not what we wanted to see. And actually continuing to struggle. I was in this battle with Blaney, who would move up to the outside, and then here comes Harrison Burton having a really good run in that number 21 Wood Brothers Ford Mustang. So he would pass both myself and Blaney. He was on the move as I would again pass back to 12. Kind of a lot of back and forth here in just the first few laps of stage number 2 as we were looking for an overtake now on the 1 of Chastain. New leader at this point, Joey Logano, your pole winner, back out in front here now. So he is another driver looking for the first win. He's going to comfortably point his way into the playoffs. There's not any concern for the 22 unless, of course, there's enough new winners, which I don't think is going to happen with the history of these last, summer stretch races here. Now, caution is out here in Richmond now, and it looks like it's the 23 up ahead. Bubba Wallace's McDonald's machine, smoke pouring out of the back of it. That will bring out a caution there. You saw me looking back, and then, of course, that all happens and takes place. So Bubba Wallace, Kurt Busch is well pitting, so maybe another issue for a 2311 driver, all in the same incident or same caution. But Bubba's day or night is going to be over as we're going to stay out here because pitting is not necessary in stage 2 to make it to the end. So we're all going to get back underway. No position change, of course. We're back racing here from P12. Just behind me, Justin Haley. He started at the back along with Kurt Busch. Haley's now ahead of the 67, obviously, but was ahead of him at at the time of the caution, and here he is putting some pressure on me. He's made it 3 wide around my own side here. Now I'm able to get in behind the 12 in front of the 6 of Keselowski to be able to settle in, as this Logano Almirola now up into second behind him, actually. So how about that for Eric Almirola? Haley, though, down into turn 1 is going to be alongside here into the corner, having a really good run. Might be a lot of speed here from him as he's going to clear a set of turn 2. My rear end starting to slip and slide around a little bit here, but you can see just lap 18 coming to 19 in stage 2. That 31 is making some overtakes. He's past the 12, the 11 of Hamlin as well. He is moving forward. Keep an eye on that 31 of Justin Haley. Now, as I say, keep an eye on him. You can see him all the way up there now, actually ahead of Truex, Burton, Chastain, Kyle Busch, and Kyle Larson as well. He is up towards the top 5 in these final closing 11 laps of the stage. Almirola, who was second before the caution, now down to 14th, as I'm going to look up the inside of him here now. So, honestly, the car, I really felt like this is where we belong right now, in this kind of 14th, 18th kind of area, in those 4 to 5 positions kind of set. But yeah, overall, not a whole lot of pace in the car, but way better than what we had in the spring race in Richmond. We clear the 10 Smithfield Ford Mustang. Of course, Burton going into that 10 car next season, and speaking of him, there he is in 13th, slipping and sliding on the exit of turn 2. But it's a run like this that solidifies Stewart-Haas Racing's, decision to bring Harrison Burton over into that 10 car. Of course, Almirola going to swap has to feel pretty good too, knowing that 21 does have potential pace in it here, as I'm battling with this 21 in these closing laps of stage number 2. Logano continues to lead here, looking for the stage victory. Truex won stage 1, Logano looking for stage 2. Side by side with Burton, we would finally clear him through 1 and 2 on lap 33, and as soon as I do that, another caution flies here in Richmond. So we're seeing quite a few cautions so far tonight. My teammate of Chandler Smith having a terrible night. The first car lap down. Fortunately, he will, of course, be on the lead lap with the lucky dog here. We are only going to have a 1-lap dash, by the way, for stage 2's end. This is not the end of the stage. It's going to be a 1-lap sprint. You see the adjustments going into the car. A lot of tire pressure focused adjustments. Again, just trying to lower them. Just, keep the freeness in the car a little bit less, because it was definitely getting looser and looser again. You can see Elliott, a terrible pit stop, gives up 12 positions in the pit lane there, so the team having issues. This Logano and Harvick, the front row for the restart. We're back racing. It's, I think, for the first time this season, a 1-lap dash in the end of a stage here. So we're going to go green for, 25 seconds, and then we're going to go back, of course, under caution for stage 3. Right to the back bumper of the Castrol Edge Ford Mustang of Keselowski. Hamlin on the inside as we head down this back stretch now. Elliott just behind us. Into 3, Logano goes way up the track, and that opened the door for Justin Haley to look up his inside. They're actually going to drag race to the line, but it's going to be Logano hanging on. So Joey Logano wins stage number 2 here. Another playoff point to his name. Haley gets second place in this stage. There is serious speed, but you do not want to be on the outside for a restart when it comes to Richmond, and that's exactly where he will find himself for the start of this third and final stage. Nobody's going to be coming into the pit lane here. We only ran, of course, 1 lap under green flag conditions after making those pit stops there. So P13 for us here in stage number 2. Could have been better, could have certainly been worse, as we're going to get back underway. Logano, Haley, stage 3, underway. There's your front row. Keselowski with a bit of a slow start. I got into the back of him, and then that slowed me down after I got into him. So we lose a position there to the 10 of Almirola. Elliott's going to muscle his way. 3 wide up the inside there. A little bit of contact we had on the left rear quarter panel. So we're going to lose another spot there to the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Elliott was, of course, a top 5 threat, maybe a top 3 threat, and had that bad pit stop. So I'm not surprised that he is just kind of trying to get on with it here with 40 laps remaining in this race now. Rerun P16 down into 1, up ahead, 3 wide for the lead. It's Kyle Larson going at it with Harvick and Logano. Of course, Larson and Logano both winless this season, both comfortably in the playoffs, but they would both lose the lead to Kevin Harvick, who would try to take off here. Now, as I'm continuing to move forward, Truex now down to 13th place. We see the positions kind of shuffle around like crazy because the AI, they go back and forth between running that inside line, then they'll run, 3 lanes higher like that the 19, the 54, and the 10 are doing right now, as the caution is going to come out again, and this is going to bring everybody into the pit lane, because if we pit now, we guarantee not have to pit again for the rest of this race. So we're all going to come in, no adjustments at this point. I felt like the car couldn't get a whole lot better, and I felt like we just kind of have what we have now, so we're just going to hope for the best here. As you can see, the rest of the order, Byron and Bowman running really bad right now. Trevor Bain, by the way, running in the 42 for Legacy Motor Club here tonight, having a mid-run, you know, nothing awful, but nothing great at the same time. We're back underway here from Richmond Raceway now. It's a little over 30 laps to go. Our teammate of Smith is up in the mix. He was a lucky dog recently, running 39th here. He now finds himself towards the top 25. We were 3 wide briefly with Byron and Custer. We give up a lot of track position, as you can see, because I decided to take 4 tires while a lot of drivers decided on just 2 tires. There was also some drivers that decided on no tires. Larson back out in front, but I think the 4-tire call overall is going to be the best call come 30 laps time. That was kind of what I was thinking. Not now, but what is this call going to do 30 laps from now? And I think that we made the right call by giving up, you know, 10 extra positions for the 4 tires here. I think it's going to make a nice difference a little bit later on, because the car likes to free up, and I don't want to have that happening as much, and we will reduce that by that 4 fresh tire call. Elliott now out in front with 30 laps remaining. We continue to move forward here now, passing the 41, the 43, up to 23rd. McDowell, it didn't take long to get to him. Of course, McDowell locked in the playoffs in real life and in the career mode here. The Daytona regular season finale was just in real life there on Saturday night. A fantastic race, best plate race so far for sure of the next gen era, as we go up into turn 1 behind the 99 of Daniel Suarez. Your Dover winner and your Richmond crasher. Around Suarez goes on our front bumper. A little bit of contact there. Looks like a tire blew out of the 99, and the caution flies.
All right, I don't see any damage there. We should be okay.
No damage at all. So everybody, including myself, will stay out. Well, Suarez is going to pit. Well, he's actually out. Suarez's night is over as we'll get ready to go back racing. So P21, how about this? Riley Herbst up here, the Daytona 500 winner. Not going to be a threat for the playoffs. Just not going to be anywhere close to that top 30 in the standings. I'm going to get aggressive, though. 3 wide up the inside into turn 1, trying to use these 4 tires to my advantage there into the back of the 3G.com machine of Kyle Busch on the exit of 2. We'll have to actually lose some momentum and settle in behind Herbst, but I'm going to try and follow Riley forward here now as we go down into 1. You can see he's up the inside of that 10 of Eric Almirola. We're 3 wide actually with him, as well as the 2 of Austin Cindric down this back straightaway. McDowell, Burton just behind myself as well. Truex back to the lead. He would love to win his way into the playoffs tonight and not have to worry about, of course, bubble racing and trying to get as many points as he can. We expect Truex to win. This is not his final season. He has decided he will return next season, but Logano would take the lead shortly thereafter. Lap 83, we clear Herbst now up to P15, so the 4-tire call, it was worth it. Now passing the 6 of Keselowski. This would be a lap-long battle. I wouldn't clear him until the very next lap, down into 1 and 2 for P14. So 15 laps to go. Running down now the 14 of Briscoe, his teammate of Almirola, putting pressure on me. Would actually get past me. So I'll jump down to 15th and then go back up the inside of the 14. So we'll lose 14th, then get it right back on Almirola's teammate. Now Burton as well trying to follow me through, but the caution flies again here tonight, as it's kind of been a caution fest. Not a long green flag run kind of night. Just caution, caution, caution with 13 laps to go. It's Logano, Kurt Busch up in the second over Truex, Elliott, and Ty Gibbs. Your top 5. Gibbs has had a heck of a turnaround in these summer months here, and of course is one of the drivers we're fighting with. 2 rookies, himself and myself. They're fighting for the final spots in the playoffs. We're back underway now with 10 laps remaining. The only pitter there was Chandler Smith. He might have been, of course, the reason for the caution. Couldn't find it in the replay, however, as we go down into turn 1 a little bit wide there. That opens the door for the 2 to try and get up my inside, but thankfully he doesn't take advantage of it, so we still settle in and don't lose anything out of that here as we come out of 4 of Chastain side by side with the 4 of Kevin Harvick. As we head down towards turn 1, something's gone wrong. The throttle's stunk as we head into turn 1 into the back of the 1 of Chastain into the barrier. The caution's gonna fly with 9 laps remaining. You might be wondering, why did I just go full throttle into turn 1? I had 0 control in that moment of my car. Here's what happened. So I was recording this episode without an internet connection because another internet issue that seems to be resolved now, thank goodness. However, what happened was, from what I narrowed it down to, Google Chrome was trying to update but couldn't, obviously. With no internet, I found this through the task scheduler program, but when it tried to update and didn't work, it pulled up an extremely quick pop-up window over my game. It literally, by the time I saw it, it was gone. And then when that pop-up window, though, had come over the screen, I completely lost control because basically it switched me over to my second monitor, and by the time I realized it, I was full beans ahead into Ross Chastain's rear end into turn 1, and that happened. So stuck throttle was all because of a pop-up window in my on my first main monitor where I was playing the game. I went and did some digging, and that's how I found it looked like it was a Google Chrome updater in my task scheduler. That was the only thing that happened around that same time period. So now, final lap we're coming up to here in Richmond. We had some damage on the car, which jumps us back a little bit. 17th place side by side with Keselowski, but look who's leading. It's not Logano, it's Martin Truex Jr. on this final lap as we come through 1 and 2 for the final time. As we head down this back straightaway, Martin Truex Jr. winning is not going to help us. He's right now, mathematically, he's not in the playoffs, so as we go into 3 and 4, we'll clear Keselowski, but Truex will win for the first time this season in Richmond. He barely holds off Logano. We cross the line. It's going to be 17th place, an average finish for us this season, but Truex wins by like a quarter of a car length over Logano, Larson, Elliott, Blaney, the top 5, Kurt Busch with a great day in P7, Haley 12th, Herbst a fantastic night in 13th, he got the track position and held on to it and then some. Bain for Legacy Motor Club, 27th place, actually beats his teammate of Eric Jones, Suarez, Bubba Wallace, the DNFs, Reddick with a terrible night. But wait until you see how this affects the playoff grid with with Truex winning the race here. Now, you see the Xfinity Series playoff grid. They are going to the Indianapolis road course. We're going to Michigan in the next episode, but Truex jumps up to 8th in the playoff grid after the win. But you can see Buescher is the first one out by 4 points, and we are the last one in. So we're only in the playoffs by 4 points. Gibbs, of course, 10 points ahead of me. He's in by 14. Haley out by 40. Keselowski out by 56. Dillon and Bowman 71-72. Reddick and Kurt Busch not far behind them. But yeah, 4 races remain in the regular season. It's game on. Truex winning and Priest still being in the top 30 by, 20 points. It's going to be really interesting here in these final few races of this regular season. I'll see you guys at the 2 Mile Michigan Speedway. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.